An afternoon meteorite search turned into a strange discovery for Nathan, who ventured off the beaten path into a dense forest. He had been looking for something. After some searching, he seemed to have stumbled upon it amongst the tall pines, an enormous, oddly shaped object partially buried under debris. Curiosity got the better of him as he approached it. However, as experts arrived to examine Nathan's find, their initial intrigue turned to disbelief after opening it. Did Nathan see a shooting star? But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Nathan had always loved nature, so when he was stargazing and saw this insanely bright falling star streaking across the heavens, he was amazed as he saw it come down and connect with the ground. He saw it soar past the trees, and he could feel the ground shake on impact. His mind raced with the possibilities of what it could be, yet none of them could have prepared him for what he would actually find. Nathan understood that he could not venture into the woods in the dead of night, regardless of how much he wanted to see what had fallen from the skies. "I can go look in the morning," he muttered to himself. So, instead of walking off to find the source of impact, he went inside his tent and killed the light. He woke with nature, the light coming into his tent as the world around him started to wake. He could hear the chirping of birds and larger animals walking around. After dismantling the tent, he quickly started to pack his bag, as he didn't know how long the hike would be. He slung the backpack on his shoulders and set off, following the mental note he made the night before of where to go. "It seems like I have to cut through," Nathan murmured to himself as he looked at the map and his compass. He had to go off the beaten path. With the sun high in the sky and his compass in hand, he knew he could not get lost, or at least that was what he believed. He knew where he had to go, writing down how far he would go in every direction and marking certain landmarks on his map. He had drawn a large circle where the object that had fallen into orbit could have landed, and he started to get closer and closer. "I'm almost there," Nathan muttered to himself as he pushed aside a few branches from a tree. He truly believed what he had said, but now he started feeling nervous as he couldn't find a crater. Did I misread the distance? Though being lost was a big concern in and of itself, he knew what kind of creatures prowled around here, and he didn't want to come across one if he had any say in it. He steeled his nerves as he walked on. If he had been wrong about the distance, he certainly hadn't regarding the direction he had gone in. He would blindly trust his compass every time, as it had saved him multiple times from getting lost. His gut feeling had been true, as he noticed a clearing, but not a natural one. Those trees had been knocked over. Nathan halted at the clearing's edge, his gaze locked onto a hidden crater masked by wild ferns and undergrowth. Might this be it? He crouched at the crater's edge, his fingers probing the dry, entwined soil and mature vegetation. No way this happened overnight. The thick underbrush and old tree scars told a story of age, not an overnight spectacle. His heart sank a little. Had he been so wrong about the spot? Nathan's frustration flickered across his face as he took one last look at the misleading crater. "Guess it's not here," he sighed, but the spark of curiosity was far from doused. Adjusting his backpack, he prepared to continue his search. As he hacked through a particularly thick patch of brambles, Nathan paused, spotting a faint trail. Squinting at his map, he aligned it with the path. His steps quickened as he headed towards what he hoped would lead him directly to the meteorite. The more Nathan walked, the clearer the path became. It seemed well-traveled, worn by the feet of animals or perhaps even other hikers. Who else has been through here? Am I not the only one looking for the meteorite? Up ahead, he noticed a few trees with their tops cleanly snapped off. Something big came through here. Nathan picked his way along the trail, his progress halted by a barrier of fallen trees. "Looks like something huge came crashing through here," he said, stepping over the massive trunks. Beyond the tree line, Nathan glimpsed another crater, this one with a strange object at its heart, resembling a giant turbine. "What in the world is that?" he muttered, curiosity drawing him forward. The object lay silent and imposing, its presence a surreal contrast to the natural forest surrounding it. Standing beside the crater, Nathan examined the object, realizing it wasn't a meteorite. This is definitely man-made, but from where? The object's metallic structure gleamed under the forest canopy, its surface smooth and probably cold to the touch. Nathan flicked his phone open, eyeing the screen only to see the dreaded no service icon glaring back at him. He sighed. "Great, just my luck. I need to let someone know about this," he muttered, pocketing the phone with a reluctant hand, unsure of venturing closer without backup. After a moment of tense indecision, Nathan clenched his fists. "I've got to find a signal," he declared, determination setting his jaw. He coaxed the device, holding it aloft like a divining rod. Each check was met with disappointment, but the higher ground promised a better chance, and he wasn't ready to give up just yet. "All I need is one good spot to make this call," he told himself, his steps quickening with renewed purpose. His persistence paid off when 2 bars suddenly flashed on his screen. He wasted no time, quickly tapping the emergency number. 911, what's your emergency?" came the dispatcher's voice. Nathan quickly described the strange turbine-like object and its location. After giving his precise location, Nathan described the surroundings in more detail. "It's off the main trail, in a newly formed crater surrounded by downed trees," he explained. The dispatcher noted everything diligently, ensuring they had all the information needed to find him quickly. Now, all Nathan could do was wait. Nathan's ears picked up the distant sound of engines breaking the silence of the forest. Peering through the trees, he saw the flicker of headlights weaving their way toward him. Nathan was greeted by a mixed team of police officers and park rangers, their faces set with curiosity and concern. As they walked, he recounted the strange circumstances of finding the object. As they approached the crater, Nathan stopped, hanging back as instructed. He watched the team move forward with cautious steps toward the object. The team worked efficiently, setting up a perimeter around the crater with yellow tape fluttering in the gentle breeze. Officer Dalton stepped out of the lead vehicle, his expression serious as he approached Nathan. "I need to understand exactly what you saw," Dalton began, notebook in hand. Nathan nodded, the gravity of the situation settling in as he started record. Questions flew from Dalton as he tried to piece together the sequence of events. "Where exactly did you see it land? What did it look like?" "I saw it come down right over there," Nathan pointed, his hand sweeping toward the northeast. "It was like nothing I've ever seen, bright, fast, with a trail that lit up the sky." He described every detail he could recall. "Thank you, Nathan. We might need more from you as things unfold," Dalton said, closing his notebook. Nathan nodded. Just as the tension seemed to stabilize, a sudden sharp explosion shattered the calm, emanating from the direction of the mysterious object. The officers and rangers scrambled toward the source of the sound, their movements quick and deliberate. Nathan followed closely, his heart pounding with a mix of adrenaline and concern as they approached the smoky aftermath. Among the responders, one of Dalton's men was caught near the blast, thrown to the ground and visibly injured. Nathan, with his medical training, didn't hesitate. "I've got you," he assured the officer as he knelt beside him, quickly assessing his injuries. Pulling a first aid kit from his backpack, Nathan began administering care, his hands steady despite the surrounding chaos. As the officer regained some composure, he whispered to Nathan, "There were symbols on it. Looked alien? Nothing I've ever seen." Nathan's eyes widened, the implications of such a statement adding layers of intrigue to the mystery. "Alien, you say?" Nathan quickly relayed the officer's comments to Officer Dalton, who raised an eyebrow in skepticism. "Alien, huh? We'll wait for the experts to have a look before touching anything else." Word of the alien inscription spread like wildfire among the team, each member whispering theories and glancing curiously towards the object. As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows over the scene, the area began to settle into a wary calm. The team prepared for the arrival of additional experts, setting up floodlights around the crater. Everything's in place. Now we wait. As the team of experts swarmed the site, one linguist among them stepped forward, squinting at the inscriptions on the object. "These are Russian," he announced confidently, pointing out the Cyrillic characters. The revelation shifted the atmosphere, turning speculative murmurs into focused conversation. "Russian? That's unexpected," muttered one of the rangers as the rest of the team gathered closer to hear more from the linguist about the potential origins. With the identification of the inscriptions, the team employed specialized equipment to carefully open the object. As the outer casing was removed, everyone leaned in, holding their breaths. The tools whirred softly, and finally, "It's a satellite, definitely from the Cold War era." The design and components matched those used decades ago, a silent relic of past space races now lying quietly in the forest. Dalton gathered the team to discuss the broader implications. "Finding a Cold War satellite here raises a lot of questions about its journey," he stated, his voice carrying the weight of the discovery. Was it spying? Was it lost? Either way, it's a significant piece of history. The discussion turned to the political context of the era, the satellite serving as a stark reminder of the tensions of the past. To think this was orbiting overhead, watching during the Cold War, he mused to himself, fascinated by the historical weight of the object now lying inert before him. Officer Dalton led Nathan and the injured officer toward one of the vehicles parked at the edge of the clearing. "You need to get checked out at the hospital," Dalton insisted, his tone firm but concerned. Nathan hesitated, his gaze lingering on the satellite. As Nathan sat in the hospital waiting room, the news of the Cold War satellite had already begun to ripple through the town. Word of Nathan's role in discovering the satellite spread, and soon he was credited in local news reports. The satellite and its intriguing contents were transported to a nearby museum, where they would be displayed for public viewing. Nathan felt a surge of pride when he heard the news, pleased that his adventurous spirit had led to such a significant find. Nathan visited the museum a few days later, his steps light with satisfaction as he approached the exhibit housing the satellite. Watching families and enthusiasts buzzing around, he smiled, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. Maybe someone else will get lucky too, he thought, hopeful that his discovery would inspire more people to explore and appreciate the mysteries waiting in the natural world. His adventure had sparked a communal spirit of discovery, and that made everything worth it.